Hi guys, welcome back to 100% Mags. So this, of course, is a video that I've been thinking about for a little while. I have done these in the past on the channel when I was starting out, and I thought, why not? Let's bring it back with the transfer window open. Let's talk about 5 players that will improve NUFC if we do bring them in, or if we are, of course, indeed looking at them. So first off on the list, we're going to look at the German Timo Werner. He's number 5 on the list. Of course, he joined Chelsea from RB Leipzig, and he was absolutely killing it in the German league. I mean, in the time that he was there in the Bundesliga, he managed to score 93 goals in 158 games and getting 40 assists. That is an absolute monster in front of goal. Since coming into the Premier League, however, he has managed to score 23 times, getting 21 assists in 89 games for Chelsea. Now, of course, if you take him away from a Chelsea side who doesn't play football the way we do, our style of football's a lot more attacking. It's got a bit more of an edge towards it, whilst if you look at the Chelsea style of play, it's more like Manchester City's. It's more tiki-taka style of football, and I think if you get somebody like a Timo Werner from Chelsea, they're going to be wanting money as well, because Chelsea are on the slightly poorer side, with their departure of Roman Abramovich, which we won't get into that one, because we all know why he had to leave Chelsea. But they do have new owners there in Todd Bowley, and they're still going to want to be cleaning up the books a bit. They are wanting to move on players, and I think Timo Werner, we could get him at a decent price, bring him in Newcastle United, and he could do with some absolute business up top. I mean, he's not that old neither. He's only 26 years old, and he is a very good goal scorer. Like I say, from a centre forward position, he's played 256 games over the career, and he's scored 120 goals and got 65 assists from 256 games as a centre forward in his career. He's still only 26 years old as well, like I say, and Chelsea aren't going to be asking absolutely crazy money for him. They are going to want to, get some of them higher waged players off of their books. That's the problem where I think, we could see a bit of a problem is the wage demand. Would he be willing to take a lesser wage to play at Newcastle United and play more games as well, because he'd be getting first team opportunities? Obviously, I mean, it's Timo Werner, he'd easily slot into the team. Callum Wilson, could sit on the bench as a super sub. I think it's definitely an option that we should be looking at. The owners should definitely be looking at. We've got to be looking at all the options here and all the avenues, and I think Timo Werner is a good option. He's a goal scorer. He knows how to find the net, and in 89 games at Chelsea, he's still managed to find 23 goals and 21 assists out of that as well. And if we could get him to the form that he was when he was playing in the Bundesliga for, RB Leipzig, I think he'd be an absolute steal of a player. But it all depends on, of course, wages and, of course, the transfer fee structure as well. If we could get him for a reasonable price, I mean, I believe Chelsea brought him in for, I think it was 40 plus million, 47 million it was that they brought him in from RB Leipzig for, so if we could get him for, say, 40 to 35, well, 35 to 40 million, I think that would be a pretty good deal for Timo Werner if, we could get Chelsea to agree to that deal. And I think he would be a really good finisher. Like I say, he's a born scorer. He knows how to find the back of the net, and it proves it, 256 games as a centre forward, and he scored 120 goals and 65 assists in his career, and he's still only 26 years old as well. Like I say, he's got a market value of just over 35 million. So if we could get him for that 35 to 40 million mark, I think he'd be an absolute steal of a player, and putting him into our style of play, he would be a much better player than what he is at Chelsea. But he's no slouch at Chelsea neither, 23 goals in 89 games and 21 assists. That's still pretty good. That's a pretty good outing when you consider, the likes of Chelsea having Romelu Lukaku in there as well, who came in just last season. But moving on to number 4 on the list, and this one is Christian Eriksen. Now, this is an absolute steal if you can get it done. Christian Eriksen is going to be a player that everybody is looking at. I mean, Man United's already having a look at him. Tottenham's having a look at him. Newcastle's even having a look at them ourselves. We should definitely be going to get the signature for Christian Eriksen. He is a hell of a player. He's done some absolute wonders since coming in at Brentford, and I've got to say, he's a really good player. He's a really good passer of the ball as well. He'd fit in well with the ethos around Newcastle as well, because that's something that Eddie Howe is looking at. He's trying to get players that will harmonise with the players that are already at the club, and Christian Eriksen ticks all the boxes on that one. He already knows Kieran Trippier, and I've talked about it on the channel as well before already. Christian Eriksen already knows Kieran Trippier in Newcastle from his days when he was playing at Spurs. The both of them both played there, and I really do think Christian Eriksen will be a really good player to bring in. But talking about another one in the midfield, we will get on to later on in the video when we get to the number 1 choice. But Christian Eriksen for me is a really good steal. He'd be a hell of a player. He'd give his all out there on the pitch, and he's proven that at Brentford. And I think, if we can get the deal right, we can get the wage structure right on that deal as well, then we should definitely be bringing Christian Eriksen to Newcastle United, and hopefully, we will see him play in a black and white shirt. Moving on to number 3 of my 5 players that will improve NUFC is Hugo Ekitike. Now, he's already signed a 5-year deal. He's agreed a 5-year deal with Newcastle United. He's still yet to, sign the deal, but he has agreed it. Of course, the only point about this one that is a little bit of a stickler is that he picked up a hamstring injury in his game against France, but he has put out a tweet recently where it is a football, a smiley face, and a muscle, which can only mean one thing, that he is pointing towards saying that he can play in the last game for the Toulon tournament, which is tonight, which of course I will be keeping an eye on that one to see how he progresses if he does play in the game. And that has been stirring up quite a bit of controversy between the Newcastle fan base as well, because some of them are saying, what's with this cryptic tweets, and to be honest, you've got to know your stuff, and it's quite obvious to see, the football means that he's on about the match, the smile face means that, he's happy, and the arm obviously means that, he's strong and fit and ready to go for this game for France tonight. And moving on, of course, from Hugo Ekitike, we'll move to number 2 on the list of top 5 players that will improve NUFC, or 5 players that will improve NUFC, and that is Sven Botman. Now, another one, yes, we're already linked with, but he will improve Newcastle United. I've talked about it already on the channel, Sven Botman is one of the world's best centre-backs right now. Everybody wants him. Tottenham, Man U, Real Madrid, PSG, Liverpool, everybody wants him. Newcastle look like we are on the verge of being able to get that signature finally done and finally sealed. And talking about the game yesterday, what he was playing against Wales under-21s in the UEFA under-21 qualifying competition. Of course, Dan Ashworth was down there at the Scarlet Park in Wales to watch. Of course, Sven Botman, quite a few people were saying that, Dan Ashworth was there to watch his son for Wales. But yes, he might have been, but he was also, mainly there to watch Sven Botman. At the end of the day, his son was sitting on the bench for Wales, and, Sven Botman was starting the game, so Dan Ashworth was definitely there to watch, you know, Sven Botman play for the Dutch under-21s, and he managed to see Botman play. Botman went off at half time. If there was maybe some talks or something done there, you know, still remains to be seen. But Dan Ashworth did go missing at half time, maybe to go to the toilet, maybe to go get a snack, or maybe to even go and have talks with Sven Botman. Who knows? Only time will tell. But Botman went off at half time in that game. He had a really good game as well. Very good game for the lad, and I'm sure he is raring to, you know, get that signing done, get a move to either Newcastle or AC Milan, whoever it is, you know, whoever wins the signature. And I believe at this moment in time, according to the news going around from Italian outlets like Sky Italia, you know, they're saying that AC Milan have moved away from the deal, as I have talked about in the previous video I put up yesterday. And I think, to be honest, this is just, you know, the Italians trying to save face, because AC Milan is their league champions, and it would hurt them quite a bit to think, you know, and for the news to go around as well, that Newcastle, a team that finished 11th in the Premier League last season, beat away AC Milan to the signature of a very highly rated centre-back who everybody's wanting on their books come the next season. And I think that is all that basically is. You know, the Italians are trying to save face for the fact that, you know, Sven Botman could possibly sign for Newcastle United, and it looks like, you know, we are leading the race on that one as well. But moving on to number 1 on the list, and this one's quite obvious. I'm sure you probably guessed it before I've even said it. It is Lucas Paqueta. This one is a signed, sealed and delivered deal already before Newcastle even entered this transfer window. I mean, all we've got to do is put in an offer, you know, for the player. And some structural changes have happened as well at Lyon, with some new owners coming in there. So that could mean, you know, that there is more possibility that we could get Lucas Paqueta away from Lyon. And getting Paqueta in, I don't need to tell you what this would do for Newcastle United, because you should already know. I mean, he's friends with Bruno Guimaraes, so that in itself right there, you've got the partnership coming together again, this time at Newcastle United. Put that in the middle of the midfield with Joe Linton, you know, and you've got an absolute killer midfield for Newcastle going into the brand new season. Lucas Paqueta is a hell of a player. He knows what he's doing. He's an attacking player as well. So he gets forward quite a lot. He knows how to get them passes into the areas as well, just like Bruno showed when he got that pass off to Miggy Almiron in the season as well. And, you know, Bruno and Paqueta and Joe Linton together in that midfield would make a hell of a midfield for Newcastle United. But let us know your thoughts down in the comments below about all the players mentioned in this video today. If you do like the video, please do hit a like on it. Please subscribe to the channel as well, as it does help the channel to grow. And if you want to, you can donate as well to a Ko-Fi page, which I will put a link up on the screen for that. You can go and donate over there, which does help, you know, to support the channel. You don't have to if you don't want to. It is there if you want to do it. It does help to support the channel, as the money will go back into making the videos better for you guys. But you don't have to if you don't want to. Subscribing and liking the videos is just, you know, the same. It still supports the channel at the end of the day. But if you do want to, you know, show a little bit more support of the channel, then you can donate to the Ko-Fi page, which I will put a link up on the screen for that, of course. And also there'll be a link up on the screen to subscribe to the channel as well. Until next time, I hope you all liked the video. Stay safe out there, and if there's any more news on transfers, I will update you on the channel. Until next time, I'll see you all later, and how are the lads?